Oh, all right, friends, it's Teen. I'm back with another video on Jason Blaha, Strength and Baloney Fitness Man. So we're gonna review this video. It's when size gains slow over many years. Is muscular maturity a thing? Man, how many times do I have to explain to this guy that muscle has a myonuclear domain size limit? It is overseen by the satellite cell. You understand me, man? So I don't understand what part that he not get, that the satellite cell is beyond where it could donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth. In other words, a fiber has a limit how big it can get. And so then you need more fibers to, and then they get bigger, but it's beyond that. The satellite cell is not going to donate anymore to create more muscle fibers. They're created in the beginning when you first come into the gym when you're untrained, and you all call it newbie gains, and then you guys call it, when it ends, you guys call it a genetic limit. I reached my genetic limit. In fact, it's not newbie gain. You could call that a domain, a myonuclear domain size limit. And then the newbie gain, oh shit. The newbie gain is when you get a donation of the satellite cells, okay, when you're untrained. Now, the genetic limit part, that's an MND size limit, myonuclear domain size limit. So there you go. So your instincts are absolutely correct. You are absolutely 100% correct, and all answers can be found in science. Yes.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would chat.
So your gains are not slowing down. They've ended at newbie gains. The fitness industry is built on lies, marketing, and fitness to enslave you with products and you doing fitness and pretending you're building muscle. How long does it take to build muscle? Forever? Like, listen to this guy. When size gains slow, what size gains does he have? He's got newbie gains there. He's got some newbie gains, and some of it's some carbohydrate, puffy stuff in there. Some glycogen, fluid.
You guys a little bit about something, and maybe it's just some ramblings.
Maybe some bubble gum and some crazy glue. I don't know what else is inside there.
But, things that I've had to think about more and more as I continue.
This is lifting slave mentality. What he's doing here is simply inflammaging. That's all he's doing. Inflammaging. He's breaking proteins down and restoring them. Breaking them down and restoring them. And then he gets an inflammatory response, some lactic acid. He thinks that's muscle gains. And then they go away. And then I have to gain them back again. That's it. That's all he has. Look at him. If anything, he's becoming sarcopenic because that progenitor cell is actually going down. Look, I think people don't understand what's happening here. Here's what's happening. You're exhausting the satellite cell pool. I'll show you. He's exhausting the satellite cell pool. Watch this.
Sarcopenia is the progressive loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength during aging. This process is associated with a decline in the number of muscle stem cells. It is thought that during aging, satellite cells continue to activate, but that the self-renewal process is compromised, resulting in a reduction in the total number of satellite cells over time. This decline in stem cell number, as well as quality, contributes to the loss of muscle mass, quality, and strength during aging.
And that's what he's getting. He's losing that muscle mass and quality of strength because notice his lifts are going down. They're all going down.
More and more as I continue to lift as I get older. Again, I'm about to turn 47. Gosh, this video.
Look, I'm in my late 50s, okay? I'm like 10 years older than him practically, and I look better than Blaha because the reason is I'm a super athlete. I understand how all these modalities work. Once you understand how they work, you can figure out how to manipulate them to your favor instead of the fitness industry enslaving you. That is the whole point. So yeah, like I said, once you understand all these modalities, you won't be enslaved by the fitness industry. You can understand how to navigate through them like me, a super athlete, bro. That's why I look better than him in my late 50s, and I'm like 10 years older than him. I can run circles around him.
Might not even be up before my birthday. So something I've had to think about is, I'm probably not going to gain a lot more muscle.
He's not going to gain a lot more muscle. That muscle, what part does he not understand in my videos? You reached an M&D size limit when you first came in. Nubbie gains, bro. That's it.
Can I gain a little more muscle? Sure. I'm very advanced lifter.
Show us what muscle you have gained. Blaha, show us the muscle you have gained other than this, your Nubbie gains and that a little bit of bloatness there of this carbohydrate. Show us what you gained. What do you have? You never really measure your arms, and we never see you weigh yourself on the scale. Why don't you make a video, weigh yourself on the scale, and show us your stats, your waist size, your arms, your height. I need to know all the numbers perfectly so I can figure it out. I'm pretty sure what I see here, I can kind of figure it out. So because you have mentioned a weight, but I don't know if that's real or not. And your arm size, I don't know if that's real, your forearms or your waist, your chest size, your legs, your calves. The last time you showed a picture of your calves, they were pumped. What, are you going to measure them when they're pumped with inflammation? Is that how you do it?
I've been doing this a long time, again, getting older. And the things that we have to think about as we do this is sometimes that maybe I'm not going to make a lot more gains, but what then do?
You're never going to make any gains, man. I think this person is so ignorant to the fact. I just don't understand what's his problem.
Do we do? What can we achieve? And something that I have personally noticed, observed.
Why is your coach so stubborn that he refuses to understand the truth? Like, it's ended. Nubbie gains. You've been tricked. You've been fooled. That's why I put that thing up in my community section. I think everybody should watch this video, and you'll understand that you can't teach old dogs new tricks. There's a problem. I don't know, you know this movie called The Matrix, right? This one right here, No Escape, it says, why can't adults wake up from the Matrix? Because they're set in their beliefs. That was what they're talking about here. That if they were to wake up and realize that everything that they believed in was a lie, they couldn't accept it. They'd start to have panic attacks and they die. Believe me, I've talked to adults about food, about fruits and vegetables. They literally get nuts. They start screaming at me and say, there's antioxidants in there, there's vitamin C in there. And I tell them, it's engineered, it's man-made. They can't accept it because they're been so enslaved in this artificial lifestyle that they have no clue what nature is all about. Nature is free. There isn't any taxes. There isn't anything out in nature. You've been enslaved. You understand me? To pay taxes, to buy products, by these people, these elite people, this society, whatever, whoever's running it. So you just don't realize it. And so they can't accept the truth because they've been following fake beliefs all their life. It's like the fitness stuff that I'm putting out. It goes against everything they were taught, these people. You know that? And so when I bring out the truth and even prove it with reports, they refute it. They laugh, they giggle, because they can't handle the truth. It hurts inside that you've been enslaved and the best you could do is get Nubbie gains. And people will write me, oh, but how do you get over it? How do you do this and you do that? I'm not saying there are certain things you can't typically get over, but it's not something that the fitness industry is going to promote. You understand? They're not going to promote how to get over the M&D size limit. There is a way getting over it, but it's not marketable. That is the reason why they can't sell it. They need to sell you on something easy. That is the whole point of the industry. The whole getting the stronger bit, where powerlifting, that's a new type of thing. When I was growing up, people weren't doing a whole lot of powerlifting. It was out there, but they weren't doing a whole lot of it. That's it.
Being safe physique guys who are still pretty strong. And that's kind of where I'm drifting with my own training. Obviously, I want my big...
Because powerlifting, people found it was uncomfortable. But then they taught people how to make it comfortable. You understand me? They taught people they call it progressively overloading.
Lifts to be strong. I still want to do some powerlifting meets, but I am focusing a little more on physique and stuff. And one of the things that I've realized, we can continue to refine and get better. And that is something I have observed in other people, friends of mine, over the years. I mean, a perfect example would be my...
Man, you are going downhill as you get older. Is this guy... This guy doesn't really realize that. Your whole focus should be trying to get better by removing cellular senescence, the cellular damage that you're accumulating, the garbage that you're accumulating. Exercise can be used for specific things if you understand how they work, what you're trying to shoot for. Every generation has, every decade it has its things. You know, in the beginning you're young, you know, you kind of can do this, you could do that. And then as you get older, you know, like your metabolism kind of changes, your strength level changes, your body kind of changes, things kind of change. It's because you're taking on more cellular damage. If you can prevent that and reverse that, that would be your best option as an older person, instead of continuing lifting, looking for a different outcome. And in fact, he's actually going downhill. He doesn't realize how fast he's going now. And it moves very fast. It moves rapidly. It goes faster and faster.
Nico, who I did that podcast with, we'll probably do more of those. But, you know, one of the things I've noticed with him, he's been doing this, 30 years. 30 years. And, of course, he got a Natty Pro card in bodybuilding over 20 years ago at this point. Yet he has, in his 40s, changed his look a little bit, meaning over the years, one of the things that I've noticed, and you'll see the physique world will call it muscle maturity, but I see the same thing in powerlifting.
There's no such thing as muscle maturity, man. They've made that up, bro. They fabricated that. Come on.
By the way, strength athletes, some of the leaner strength athletes who are over 40. What's one of the things that you notice? It's that muscle maturity. There's a certain density, there's a certain hardness that you see there that wasn't always there a decade before. Okay? Now...
this is such baloney, bro. I tell you. You know what? I'll show you something on my channel. Somebody wrote me this morning, somebody wrote me a comment. It was a very nice comment. I don't know if I could find it now. Honestly, don't know where it is, but I'll have to look into this video. Just a second. Let me go in here. Here it is. This guy wrote me this comment about 3 hours ago. I didn't know most of the stuff until I discovered your channel a week ago. Things over the years never made sense to me. Yeah, they don't. Nothing does in this society. Even when I was born, it didn't make sense to me. I always felt there was something off myself. How smaller guys could be stronger than bigger guys. You mean a stronger lift, but not physically stronger. Okay, and I could tell you we're speaking the truth, especially by the fact that you provide evidence for everything you say. I know, because people used to ask me on my old channel, can you prove what you say? I did. On my old channel, in my community section, it was flooded. That's why Blaha wanted to take my channel down, because I had it flooded with just about every type of information you can imagine on muscle building, you name it. So, But people were not paying attention. And so people now are coming and asking me, how do I get over MND size limit? Why should I inform anybody how to get over it? They wouldn't do it anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Not even the fitness industry would tell you how to get over MND size limit. They would rather sell you a product or some plan, which is never going to work anyway. It'll just be fake. Most people, including me, have been lied to for years about this stuff. So thank you for teaching the truth. I can admit that I was wrong about what I believed. I told him I was wrong too. You understand me? What I told him was, trust me, when I say we were all lied to by the fitness industry, it's built on lies and marketing products and fitness to enslave us. That's its job. That's its job.
We could debate a lot as to what actually causes that. I've seen some experts who've discussed that, over time, the myofibrillar growth or certain faster twitch fibers are the only thing.
I like this where he says myofibrillar growth. That growth ended when you first came in the gym as a newbie. Well, it ended at 15. Your body stopped producing more muscle fibers. But you came into the gym when you were untrained, and your body created new nascent muscle fibers. Nascent. You understand what I mean? New muscle fibers. And then they get bigger. They reach a domain limit. That's what happens.
And it continues to grow. Right?
They are now protected from getting these, how should I put it? These fibers are protected from getting any more damage because of the repeated bout effect phenomena. That's his job. And it moves into type 1. So you're trying to move for type 2, but they're in type 1 all the time, hiding.
At least without substances being thrown in the mix. Right? That's usually one of the...
I'm talking about people that chronically are lifting. They're chronically lifting, it's in type 1. And if you're chronically lifting them being in type 1, that's what you're hitting the whole time. So that would be endurance. You are now an endurance athlete. You're just coming in, lifting like a factory worker.
One of the big deals for a lot of bodybuilders who get big is that all the stuff they take allows some of those intermediate fibers to really start growing again that wouldn't otherwise grow.
They don't grow again. That fiber, each fiber has a domain limit. It reached an MND size limit. It can't get any bigger, bro. Get it, man? What part does he not understand? We're going to restart the growth factor. What part does he not understand that it has an MND size limit? Like, really, you got to be daft in the head. You know that? It's overseen by the progenitor cell, man, the satellite cell. You all know this already. MND size, just bringing it up. MND size limit. There you go. Nuclear domain size limit. It's got a nuclear domain size limit. All right. What they mean here is the muscle cell is multinuclear, and each nucleus controls transcription activity in the surrounding territory of cytoplasm called myonuclear domain. That's what it does. And so this MND size has a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process, beyond which extra myonuclei are donated by satellite cell to support further muscle growth. Because number one, muscles are postmitotic. They do not split, divide, and increase in number by themselves. See that? You're going to say, well, we got a stimulus. We're going to go to the gym and lift a weight. There's a stimulus. Unfortunately, that stimulus for that growth is protected by the repeated bout effect phenomena. Get it, man? Wow, it's just... people really have got it gone. So there's no more support. And he says he's going to magically get over it. What? You can't force anything.
Okay. But as the longer we train, the less and less of our slower twitch and even intermediate fibers really hypertrophy anymore. Now that...
What are you talking about? They were never hypertrophying. They reached an MND size limit. They're stuck in type 1. You're an endurance athlete. You are an endurance athlete. You may call yourself powerlifting, but it's endurance, bro. This guy.
could be a factor. Could just be better myofibrillar growth. Could be the fact that maybe our muscles just seem to get
muscle and this practicing being good at lifting weight, they don't work together. They don't work together. The way a muscle works and how it's built and the way strength is built are two different modalities. That's why they tell you the myocytic androgen receptor controls the strength but not the mass of the limb muscles. You understand me, man? Yeah, because they don't work together. They work separately.
Harder through loss of intramuscular fat more easily. Maybe it's because the skin gets thinner. I don't know that we always have the exact scientific answers to this. I think it has more to do with...
We have the exact scientific answers to this. He knows my channel. He's pretending like he's ignoring it.
The composition of muscles after years and years and years and years and years of training. It's just there's a certain density that appears more easily. Now you do see that replicated by guys a little younger.
That density appears when you first come in as a newbie lifter, and then it hypertrophies, and then that's it. It ends.
They use certain stuff, but in the guys who aren't always using this stuff, you start to see it appear.
Yes.
Is that we get harder, we get more refined, and it seems...
No, you don't get harder and more refined. That's such a lie. It's just such a lie, man.
It's like even sometimes when you're not, at the time of making this, I'm the leanest they've ever seen me. And I'm going to continue to get leaner, continue to refine things.
Why does he want to get leaner and leaner? Isn't that based on bodybuilding? I thought he was a power lifter. He's so against bodybuilding, yet he does everything that he says, he does the opposite.
Right? But look at certain even fitness influencers who've gotten quite older who aren't even that big, and yet they have a certain look. I mean, if someone like Jeff Cavalier, I'm not saying he's the best source of information, but when you look at it, even he's kind of done that, hasn't he? There's just a certain level of hardness and striations and muscle density that comes out. And so that is something to work towards. And that is something I've even looked.
I can tell you he's exhausting this satellite cell pool by being a chronic lifter, like I showed you in that little video. He's suffering from sarcopenia is what he's suffering from. That's why he's going downhill. He's simply a chronic lifter. It's endurance, and he's getting the satellite cell to proliferate, for sure, proliferating. But a proliferating isn't a splitting, dividing, and increasing in number so that you can further this myonuclear domain. You understand me? Yeah, that's a separate modality. That doesn't work in endurance lifting. It doesn't work in endurance lifting.
Yeah, as I continue to diet down and work on these things of saying, okay.
And there's a reason why muscle is protected from getting damaged. It doesn't get damaged in chronic lifting, these chronic lifters. And it's so forth, it's protected. Because if a factory worker was to come in a daily working and get damaged, he'd die from rhabdo in a hospital, everybody would be dead. And here's another thing. If muscles could be built lifting these heavy boxes in a factory every single day, if you were to keep growing every single day, growing and growing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you'd bust. You'd fucking commit suicide and kill yourself, bro. Get it? Yeah, man. So this is what I'm trying to explain.
Can we just refine the physique and look harder?
Yeah, the only thing you can work on is aesthetics. Why do you think the whole thing now on the internet, Alex Eubanks and all these people, it's just all aesthetics. They're all skinny little guys with low body fat. They're all ectomorphs with low body fat, ectomorphs, skinny ectomorphs with totally low body fat. That's all it really is.
Can we look at drugs and they're going to pay 15 or 20, even if it takes you years later to do it? Same thing with the squatting. I still think we see a lot of that effect occur even with guys who are doing a fair amount of rep work. All right? And I still think it comes down to, I think, and slowest twitch fibers grow. And that's going to start happening within the first few months as they go up the chain, the rate coding chain. And I think it's because maybe they're now really growing those deepest faster twitch fibers the most. And it just seems like there's more density involved, or maybe
They don't grow anymore. They're already growing when you went into home, man. Your muscle fibers are already at a nuclear domain. They reached it at 15 because they reach a size limit. Now, you don't get any more muscle fibers. You're born with a certain a count. So when you first come in the gym when you're untrained, you cause a disruption to, or an ultrastructural disruption to the muscle fibers. What happens is the progenitor cell donates its nuclei, forms nascent muscle fibers, and then they get bigger, but they reach an MND size limit where the progenitor is beyond where it can donate any more extra nuclei to that domain because it is now protected by the repeated bout effect phenomena. You understand me? Yeah, man.
it's just the higher ratio of myofibular growth over time, right? But there's just a certain hardness that appears. And I think that is something worth talking about, and it's understanding of it, so that we could create more finite goals towards it. But I think it's just, continuing to increase the overload and continuing to train and do these things for the long term.
Yeah.
All right,
Long term, increase the overload, do this, do that. All these phony things will not get you over it. Being comfortable, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to get more of something, but he's not willing to do that. So what's the point? Let him keep wallowing in this failure. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, comment down below, support the channel helps. See you in the next one. When size gains slow over years. Is muscle maturity a thing? No such thing, it's fake. He's just a lifting slave, man.